Hi, boys and girls. It is time for science, and we are still talking about the Earth today. And today we're going to talk about two things. We're going to talk about pollution. Actually, we're going to talk about one thing. We're going to talk about pollution, but we're going to talk about it in two places, on land and in the water. And so, Ms. Barrett, what is pollution?
Pollution is something that is introduced to our Earth that the Earth does not provide.
That doesn't belong there.
That doesn't belong there, like soda cans, garbage, plastic sacks.
Stuff that we make, stuff that we produce, and then when it's not taken care of properly, like thrown away or recycled or composted, like we talked about, then it's not good for the Earth. The composting, that does turn back into Earth, but the recyclables and the garbage, if they're just left out to not be taken care of, it makes our Earth dirty.
Yep, and that's what pollution is.
So we're going to talk about that a little bit. So first we'll talk about pollution on the land. And on land, when we see pollution on the land, we call it litter.
Yep.
What's litter?
So if you're driving down the road with your mom or dad or grown up and you look out the window and there's papers or garbage cans, or not garbage cans, pop cans or plastic sacks, anything you see out there in the sagebrush, that's litter. That's just garbage.
That's not natural. That didn't grow there, or that an animal didn't leave behind.
Yep.
Anything extra. And so, do people cause the most litter and pollution, or do animals do that?
People.
Yeah, people cause it because we're the ones who make it. We make the garbage, and then if we're not responsible with it, then we're the ones.
And we're also the only ones who use it. We're the only ones who drink soda out of a can. You're not going to see a dog or a cat drink soda out of a can.
No, we are not. And and littering means that we're leaving our garbage.
Right.
Right. And so then we see that it's litter, that somebody, has left it there. And that's littering. So like if you hear somebody use the term litter bug.
Yes.
A litter bug, it's because you dropped your garbage and it didn't go into the can or to the recycling, and that makes you a litter bug.
That's right.
And so if you've heard that before. And so why is littering a bad thing?
Well, yeah, so let's think about this. So let's say Mrs. Rogers and I, we drink soda out of a can and we just throw it on the side of the road. And something comes along, or maybe an animal steps on it, and that aluminum can maybe cut their foot. Maybe it's something smaller and they eat it. When they eat their grass, they eat maybe like a balloon or a plastic sack.
Yeah.
That goes in their belly and they can't digest it, so that's not a good thing. So
yeah, they could choke on it and could kill them, or they could get infected or sick or anything. Okay, good. And let's see. And so our litter can make animals sick. It can make and once there gets enough litter, it can make places it can spread germs. It could bring sickness. It could bring rats and mice, and because they think, oh look, there's garbage to eat, and then that's gross. You don't want all those animals. So and that's what pollution on land looks like. And when you see it, sometimes we see it in town, and sometimes we see it, like what the Spirit said, when you're driving, or sometimes even if you go out to the desert, you can see places where people have just dumped their trash, and that's pretty gross because they didn't just take it to the dump.
To the dump where it can be taken care of properly.
So, and then I'm gonna flip over to our next page, and so the next thing is the water. Does our litter get into the water?
Our trash and litter does get into the water.
And so why is that a problem? Why is it a problem if trash gets into our water?
So I think the biggest thing that everybody knows about are the little plastic pop can holders for a 6-pack. They can be, if they're in the water, fish can swim in there and get stuck. Ducks or other kind of waterfowl can put it on their heads, get their necks stuck in it, and it can kill them.
Yeah, and then not only that, if trash and stuff gets in the water and it hurts the animals, when we get water to our houses, what do we want? Dirty water coming into our houses?
No.
Water that's been polluted, water that has trash in it. No, and so when there's dirty water, we have to have a treatment place. It's called a wastewater treatment plant, and that cleans the water so that it can, if you live in town, that water, and you don't have a well at your house, that's how the water gets to your house, and that's how it gets cleaned. And the more trash that's in that water, the more work that the plant has to do to clean it up.
Clean it, yes.
And so it's super important for us to, because why is water important to us? What do we need it for?
Everything. Everything.
Everything.
Drink, to grow other things, to take care of our animals, to take care of us. We need water for everything.
For everything. And don't
bathing.
Yes. And don't we want clean water for that?
Yes.
Yes, we do. So it is super important for us to pick up our trash, to throw it away, to recycle our garbage, so that it doesn't end up on the side of the road.
Or in the pond.
Or in a pond. Or and even though, like we said, it goes through a plant to get cleaned out to come to your house, that's a lot of extra work. So we want to keep things as clean as possible, to keep, so there doesn't have to be as much work. And we want to do it to keep us safe, to keep our water clean, to keep our animals safe, to keep our water clean. And we don't want to be really watering our things with polluted water. We don't want to put dirty water on our gardens or on our farms. Or we want to have clean water for everything that we do. And part of that, this isn't pollution, but another important thing about water is wasting our water. And we're pretty fortunate where we live. It rains and we have water. But there's some places that don't have a lot of water. Like you can only water your yards at certain times, or you can't wash your car, or you can only take a shower for a short amount of time because they've wasted so much water that they don't have a lot.
There's not enough to go around.
And so we want to be careful with our water, and a couple ways of doing that. Like right now it's kind of hard because we are washing our hands a lot extra.
Yes.
And that's okay, we need to wash our hands. But like when we brush our teeth, should we just let the water run?
No. Turn the water off. Brush your teeth. Brush. Spit it out. Turn the water on. Clean out the sink. Rinse out your mouth. Turn off the water. Swish. Spit out.
And should we just leave the water running all the time? No. So we should be careful, like in our kitchen sinks, our bathroom sinks, our garden hoses, all the places where we turn water on. We want to make sure we turn it off when we're done, so we're not wasting our water, because it takes a long time to renew our water supply and to get clean water again, and so we don't want to waste what we have.
That's right.
All right, so that is a little bit about pollution on land and water. And we have talked about recycling, we've talked about garbage, what to do with all of it, and we talked about composting already once, but today we're gonna talk about it a little bit more. And everybody should have a yellow paper from their packet, and we have a paper in your packet today that has pictures on it. I have already cut them out. But we are going to put our pictures in order of composting. This man is composting his food. And so we're going to look at the pictures and decide what order we use for composting. And that way, if you guys want to compost at home, you'll know what to do. Are you ready?
All right.
Okay. So our first picture, we have pictures of a man with his bowl of scraps, putting them in the trash. We have a picture of eggshells, a picture of tomatoes, and a shovel with dirt. What do you think goes first?
I'm thinking probably the tomatoes. I'm thinking the tomatoes. Because the eggshells, there's another step before the eggshells, and that would be an egg.
Right.
So I'm thinking the tomatoes go first.
You think the tomatoes go first?
I do.
And then what should come after the tomatoes?
The eggshells.
So we're going to put them on. Oops. Let's see. So, oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so tomatoes is where our composting starts. Right? And they're an item that we can compost.
Yep.
And it kind of, well, I'll show you in a minute, because it's going to come, it's a circle. It's like a cycle. You'll see.
Oh, okay.
Because our man has to put his waste
scraps
in.
in.
So should he go first, do you think?
Maybe so.
'Cause he's
Okay,
putting
I
his-
see what we were doing this.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, we should put the scraps in the composting
First. Just going to move the tomatoes. Put our man putting our compost in first.
Then he's gonna have to stir that up. Do we have one of them stirring something up, or
Well,
what's that? Oh, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay.
So his broken eggs and stuff into the compost.
Okay.
And then, so we have 1, 2,
Okay.
and then that compost turns into the dirt that we can shovel.
You stirred it all up and got the dirt with the shovel. Okay.
And so number 3, and then number 4
So
You-
that's what grows from.
from the compost.
I see. Nice.
But then it starts all over. We have 1, 2. Actually, we should have gone this way, so it could be a circle. Here, we'll leave that one on. We'll leave that one on, and then we'll go this way. Okay, now we got
There
it. Okay, so number 1, I'm going to put a number by him. Number 1, he's putting his trash in the compost bin. Number 2, there's the whole trash right here, the whole food and stuff before it's broken down in the compost, like we talked about. Number 3, it's all broken down, and he has good soil. And so number 3, and he's going to shovel that onto his vegetables so that they can grow healthy and strong. And then the man is going to eat his vegetables, and the leftovers he's going to compost again. And he can keep doing it in a cycle over and over. So he's using his vegetables to eat, and he's using the leftovers to compost and make even better vegetables each time. Okay, boys and girls, I hope you do well with your composting paper and do a good job taking care of your litter and your trash and your recycling.